Okay, today we'll be seeing this assembly of flanged pipe joint. Here we'll be having two flanges. You can see that here we'll be having two flanges and two shaft or pipes. And when we are joining this, we'll be taking help of fastener, different types of fastener. So here we'll be using a hexagonal headed bolt and also hexagonal headed nut. And after that, if you see there, two pipes are there, and in between this mating phase, we'll be having a gasket. So we have created the gasket, then after that even we have created the pipe, and we have even created the pipe thread, and even we have created all the bolt and nuts. So now we'll be joining all this thing and we are assembling it. Okay, so first I'll be going to this assembly environment, and once I go to this assembly environment, I'll be selecting this sorry, solid edge. After that assembly I'll be going, then here I'll be selecting the folder in which I have saved my part files. So here it's in CDL. So I'll be going there, and after that I'll be going to this flange joint. Okay, we haven't created nut. Okay, will we create nut, then after that we'll come back to this assembly. Okay, so first we'll be going to this nut, and here to create this nut part, we should be knowing what is the dimension of this nut. So here most of the time we'll not be knowing what is the dimension of nut, because it is directly taken from this. It won't be given, like the dimensions won't be given in the nut section. Only in the bolt section it will be given. The bolt section it will be given. So this already you know how to calculate this. Only the head part, how it is having. In the similar way, the nut also will be created. So first initially we'll be going to the nut section. If it is M9, this nut also will be having hole of, or it is M9 nut. So when it is M9 nut, if we see what is the dimension of this M9 nut, then the dimension of this hole over here will be equivalent to 9 mm. And after that, the total dimension will be equivalent to 2D. Just like previous one, it also will be 2D. So when we get to know that what is the dimension of this 2D, and the width also, it is nothing but it is equal to 2 by 3, whatever hexagonal uh, header dimension is there, a similar dimension will be there in this net also. Sometimes even less, like it is uh, it's a range. Actually it is not a single exact number, so you can have the section in which it may be varying from half thickness to 2 by thickness to half thickness. So here also what we are having, this 2D means it is 18 mm, And as it is M9 nut, there will be metric thread of M9, which is equivalent to the thread what we created in the bolt of the shaft of the bolt or the rod of the bolt. Apart from that, the thickness what we are having, this will be equivalent to 2 by 3 D. Okay, and the total dimension from one end to another end will be 18 mm. So this part we are going to create it now. So even sometimes this dimension will be less, or it will be sometimes more also. This is depending upon the operation only. Here we'll be taking same nut size, so it will be 2 by 3 only. Okay, so 9. This will be 6. I guess, yes, 6. Then this is 18 mm. So now I'll be selecting this solid edge software part file. Then after that we are having this protrusion command. Now I'll be creating this in top plane only. So it is easier to create that in top plane rather than creating it in right profile plane. It is not that much easy. Okay. Then after that we'll be going to this. We have to create this hexagon. Once we create this hexagon, the side will be equivalent to 9 mm. So this 9 mm side, I'm going to keep it on the center of this. Center of the plane. Okay. So once it is kept, then after that we have to just start this reward cutout option. And in this I'll be selecting this front view. And here I'll be drawing a line which is having 30-degree inclination. Okay, this will be having 30-degree inclination. So it could be having any dimension. Will not be worrying about the dimension. Only this thing should be 30-degree. And after that I'll be selecting this axis of revolution. Then I'll be clicking on this return option. And after this, 360-degree will be selected. You can see that the entire nut is having the cut. Then after this, once we create this, we have to create a hole inside this nut. And for that, you have to select this hole section. In this one, we will be selecting the rear face of this nut. Then here, the dimension of this hole should be 9 mm. Sorry, this directly you will be taking this threaded hole only. And here you will be selecting M9 hole only, directly M9 hole, and you'll be selecting this to hole extent instead of taking to finite extent. Throughout the hole, you'll be having this thread. Then after that, you'll be clicking on this OK option, and it will be placed upon the center of this hexagon. Then after that, it will ask in which way you want to create it. So we'll be creating it in downward direction. So once this is done, we'll be going to this material table, and we are applying material which is, I guess, mild steel. So here directly we are selecting mild steel. Okay, Then after that we are going to the model. So the white still is applied to the model, and after that tools will be going to this format and view, and after that we'll be selecting this texture, and we'll be selecting that we are making that visible. Okay, so the threads will be visible if you see over here. Once this is done, go to this file properties, same thing, file properties, summary, not the author, you will be writing your name. Okay, then after that we'll be saving this file. We'll be saving this file in the required folder. Okay, Mark. So once we get this, then after that we can go for the assembly part. Now as it is saved, I'll be going to this assembly. Okay, I'll be saving it. Then after that I'll be removing this. So now we are in the assembly portion. So here how to call this plan. So always any one plan will be taken upon this right profile plane. Then after that another profile plane will be another plan will be kept upon other side. So here I'll be selecting this and I'll be calling this flange initially. So the flange arrives at here. Once it arrives, then after that we have to select second part as gasket. Okay, so we'll be selecting gasket as our second product. Be selecting this face in the gasket, then after that we'll be selecting this face, and after that this circle with respect to this circle, so that it will be matching with each other. Then once this is done, then after that you are going to call once again another flange. You will be calling the flange again, and for that you require this in isometric. So I'll be selecting once again flange over here, and in this one I'll be selecting this face with respect to the face in the gasket. Okay, and circle with respect to the circle. Then after that I'll be selecting flip option. Okay, once again I should call that. I'm going to rotate it first, then after that we'll be call it. So do one thing, rotate it in this way. Here only I'll be rotating that flange. Okay, so the protrusion point will be coming over here, and the mating face will be facing towards that gasket. So once this is done, then you can call this flange now. Okay, and here you'll be selecting this, and after that you'll be selecting this face of gasket, then the circle with respect to the inner circle. Now you can see that. You can go to the front view, you can see that this is perfectly aligned or not, and even in the right view whether they are perfectly aligned or not. It is not perfectly aligned. You can see that these circles, they are not perfectly aligned. So for that, what you should select this circle with respect to this circle. So now it is perfectly aligned. Now even if you go to this specification tree assembly pathfinder, at that time we will get to know that entire thing is perfectly joined. Okay, these two flanges, they are perfectly mated. Once this is done, then after that you can call the pipes. Okay, you can call the pipes. Just have to click on, double click on that thing. After that, they'll be selecting this face over here. We'll be mating it with the face over here. And after that, this entire cylinder will be mated with the inner cylinder over here. Okay. In similar way, we have to create it on the other side also. Now another pipe I am going to select it, but for that I have to rotate it in this direction. Then after that I'll be calling that pipe. Okay. So now I'll be selecting this circle. Before that I'll be selecting the face, and I'll be selecting, you can see that I'll be selecting inside face. Okay, this line I'm going to select. By selecting this outer surface with respect to surface of this, the mating face of this flange, the mating surface of this flange. If you zoom this over here, I'll be selecting this particular surface. Then once this is done, then after that, this entire cylinder has to be mated with this aluminum cylinder in the flange. Now you can keep it in diameter mode. Now this is done. These two assemblies are done. Okay. So the pipe is fitted in the flange. After that, these flanges should be fitted together so that we can have this bolt. So I'll be calling this bolt initially. Okay. So for that, I require it in isometric mode, and after that, I'll be calling this bolt. And after this, either you can select this cylinder or you can select it in that way. So whichever you feel it's okay with you, that you can select it. Okay, I'll be selecting this face. Then after that, and I'll be clicking on this flip so that I can have it in other direction only. Then after that, I'll be going to this front view. Okay, and after this, I'll be selecting this face in this board with respect to face of the flange so that it will be fixed. Okay, so once this is done, then I'll be calling this nut. But for that, I'll be requiring it in once again isometric mode. Then after that, I'll be bringing this nut over here, and after that, I'll be selecting this inside cylinder of this nut, and along with this bolt, cylinder the bolt. Then once this is done, see here, you can see that I'll be keeping it once again in the front view, and okay, I require it in flipped mode. Okay, and also I require this face with respect to this face. Now it is perfectly fitted from both sides. It is perfectly fitted. In the similar way, we have to assemble it for assembling other holes also. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'll be selecting once again We'll keep it getting isometric. The same procedure. Bolt shall be calling 3 bolts at a time. Okay. And this bolt I'm going to select it to this nut. Then this face with respect to this face rolls over, and similar way I will go into this assemble mode, assemble command, and I will be selecting the cylinder in the bolt. Then after that I will be selecting this hole. And after that I will be clicking on this flip so that the bolt will be in another direction. Okay, in this over direction, and after that I will be selecting the face over here. Okay, face of this bolt, main face of the bolt or head, then with respect to the face of the flange. So this also done. Then at last we are having this final thing. So select this, then after that last hole left. Then once again I will be clicking on this flip option and put this inside face with respect to face. Okay. Then after this you can keep it in isometric mode. Then once again call all the nuts. So this will be selected inner cylinder with respect to this bolt cylinder. So you can't see where it is, where it went. So I'll be making it in wireframe mode. Okay, I'll be keeping it in wireframe mode. And also I want it in flip to mode so that it will be in reverse direction. Then after that this face, or if I move it in this direction, the rear face of this nut should be selected to the rear surface of the flange. So in similar way we'll be selecting all the other nuts also. You can see over here I'll be selecting the cylinder, inner cylinder or whole cylinder of this nut with respect to bolt in the cylinder in the bolt. So here once again I'm going to click on this flip option. Then after that I'll be selecting this face, outer surface with respect to the other surface of this flange. And similarly cylinder with respect to cylinder in the bolt. Then once again flip option so that it will be protected. Then after that this surface with respect to outer surface of the flange. Then I'll be going for the fit option. Then after that I'll be keeping it in diametric mode, and I'll be keeping it in shaded with visible edges mode. Now we got our flanged pipe joint. Now this has to be sectioned, and after that this has to be converted into 2D diagram. Now the assembly is done. Okay, assembly is done. So the same thing we have to convert this into 2D diagram. So for that we have to save this. So first I'll be saving it as flanged pipe joint assembly. Okay. And after that I'll be performing cut section. So here in the cut section, what we have to have, we have to remove this. Okay, as you seen in diagram, this has to be kept. Only the flange has to be removed, and even this nut has to be removed. Those two things, and how to do the sectioning and how to create this in 2D diagram, that we are going to do it in next week. Okay, that will be doing it in next week. Sorry, the coming class. So if anybody is having any doubt regarding anything, you can ask me now. You can unmute yourself and you can ask me. Otherwise, you can put your attendance in the chat box. We give you access to chat box also. So you can put your attendance in the chat box. And after that, you can give the meeting. If any doubt is there regarding this, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave.